Well, hello there, chums. You're probably wondering why I'm standing in an abandoned building. It's not really the normal abandoned building as you know it. This is actually an observatory. This is an abandoned observatory. There are actual abandoned systems in space, chums. And this brings me on to my speculation for the next update. What I think we might be getting in the next update is based on the current lore and things that are happening in the verse. It seems to be every single update brings us more of this abandoned stuff. I mean, this is just a normal observatory. It's not a normal abandoned building, and it's littered with these eggs. The whole system has just been left to rot by the race that was here for reasons unknown. So if I fly to the station, let me show you what the station looks like in a system like this. Let's just take on off and let's fly on up to the station. Now it's a little way away, so I'd cut and I'd reconvene when I get there. Okay, well, I've arrived at the abandoned station. You can see that there's bits of it all floating about outside the outer hull, and it's just a complete mess. It's flashing red rather than the blue as well. And when we enter into here, it's quite creepy. So let's go on in and I'll show you about the place. So yeah, welcome to the red line freaking scary evil place. And it makes some pretty scary sounds while I'm in here as well, chums. It's really actually quite unnerving. So here we go, let's jump out of the ship. Now this is the old station layout, how they used to be pre-Beyond and pre-Next. So if I fly up here and go through these little doors, I mean, they're freaking smashed. Someone smashed the back doors in. So if we head on into here, you can see here it's full of pus and slime. I mean, everything still works. You can still use this, not that you want to touch it without washing your hands afterwards. Okay, so there's been a lot of things that have been leading up to this. It's like even the living ships missions. We had to actually get travellers' souls and put them into our living ships to bring them to life. Now those living ships, they don't look like anything else in this verse. They don't belong. And it kind of feels that some of these travellers that we've been encountering through the Traveller's Lore, if you haven't seen my video set on that, I suggest you watch it because it brings a lot of interesting stuff. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to find a system like this with the abandoned stations, because I think that the living ship parts, we need more of them, At the moment, there's no living ship scanners. No interesting weapons either, they're just the most basic. So I think we're going to get living ship modules as well, would be one of my guesses. Now the way that you find one of these systems is you need to be looking for something in the system list that's missing. So I usually find the green systems are the best systems to find these on, and you're just looking for something that's missing in the list there. So it takes me a little while to find something, but I'll be right back with you when I do. Okay, chums, it must have been about 2 seconds later, but here's one here. So let's just jump to that system there. Let's just jump there, and I'll show you what I mean. So here we go. Off we go. It's breaking out of warp now, and you can see here, there's another station. There's 4 planets in this system. It does say that it was a Viking system, but they've just left it. They've just left it to ruin and gone. I'm liking the colour of this nebula more so than the other. And you can see that the station is completely smashed to hell. And yep, lovely, just jubbly. It's going to be exactly the same if I fly in there. It's going to be all red and barren. But look, even if I find myself a trading post, so let's scan for a trading post. Hopefully it's so these systems have just been left to ruin, like I say. Now, thing is this sort of stuff has been happening more so with pretty much every update. Now, talking about the disturbances. So, to start off with, we've got abandoned buildings. We've got the horrors. But now we've got abandoned systems, whole planets that have been abandoned. And I think there's a reason behind this. I mean, there's got to be a reason behind this. And I feel that it's growing in culmination. If you look at all the lore that we've been getting from the Travellers, if you watch my playlist, Traveller Lore, they all talk about an alternate reality and a mixture of realities and universes colliding and different sorts of kings of these different places that are going to raid us. I'm just got to wait for this to frickin' render in. But yeah, I honestly think that the next update is going to bring us a lot more of this abandoned stuff. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a new enemy emerges in these abandoned systems. That would be my guess, and I would also like to guess that we might even get to see some of the actual race's homeworlds, like Korvax Prime, the other one, Solef Prime, all getting sort of a mention, or actually being brought into the iteration, So yeah, let's head on up here and let's just take a look around. So yep, completely empty, no life forms here, but there's none of that sort of pus or anything nasty going on here. But if I went and visited any other building, I bet you there is. Yeah. Okay, chums, well, what I found here is one of these boundary failures. Now, I think these boundary failures are going to actually spring into life I think we're going to see new enemies emerging through these dead systems and through these portals. And I wouldn't be surprised if we could go visit it, their sort of dimension, their world, through these portals. That's what I would like to think. So, I have now added this to my discoveries page as an abandoned system, and I'm going to build myself a little abandoned base on this planet, in hope that when the new iteration drops, or the new update drops, this could become a beacon of activity. That's what I'm guessing. I'm hoping I'm freaking right, but that's my speculation. I mean, I could be freaking wrong. I could be wrong. I could be looking for something that freaking doesn't exist. You know, it could be nothing, could be something. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to hedge my bets that we're going to see more around this abandoned stuff, and also the disturbances, because all the lore is pointing this way. It is definitely pointing this way. I mean, come on, I'm just joining dots. I'm just joining freaking dots. I wouldn't even say this is speculation, really. I would just say that, by the looks of things, this is the direction that the lore is pointing at so far. I mean, okay, so Hello Games has now re-employed Greg Buchanan, one of the writers that wrote in a lot of the lore that you're seeing in these boundary failures, and the living ships, and probably Artemis and everything else, like the Traveller's lore and things. So I think him coming back on board means that they're going to be expanding the story. There's so many different storylines right now that don't really have a closed loop to the end. I mean, what's Polo and Nada all about? Are we doing the good for the right team? Or is the Atlas who we should be concentrating on? There's so many sort of open-ended question marks to the lore that currently exists. Even all this boundary failure lore, it kind of ends at a point that you're like, what does that, is there going to be an end? And there's so many different unclosed loops at the moment. So I think we're going to get a closure to a lot of the story loops, or at least I'm hoping that's the case. And we're going to find out what's behind the disturbance. Okay, so these seem to be logs from whoever created the iteration, and it seems to be that there's some sort of corruption or something going wrong, or some sort of breakdown in the actual iteration. So yeah, it kind of points to what I'm getting at, but I honestly do think that we're going to see the emergence of a new enemy type. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking, and perhaps like new sort of biome type things, perhaps planets covered in the pussy type stuff. I mean, these ones that are already abandoned, I think might become a little bit more gnarly. We can only wait and see. I mean, that's my guess. I mean, no one's really putting bases on these places, because at the moment it seems kind of pointless too. I mean, you don't get ships flying in, you can't do anything in the station, so people sort of ignore these places. So at the moment they are sort of a little bit defunct. So I'm hoping that they become a little bit more active. I mean, that's my guess. I could be completely barking out the wrong tree, but there we are. That's that. So yeah, that's my speculation. Okay. Alright, well, hopefully I'm right on something. We'll see. Goodbye for now. Goodbye. Okay, chums, well, I have built myself a base in this failed system on this sort of abandoned sort of planet, and yeah, I've even added a giant mech there, just in case something does sprout out of these fouled boundary failure thingies, and hopefully I'm going to be ready for them and waiting. I've even gone for a nice black death colour. Excellent, eh? So yeah, I am really hedging my bets that we're going to get a new sort of a threat come to these different areas of space. So hopefully I'm right, otherwise I've wasted some good base parts. I'd like to say a massive thank you to all of my Patreon backers, thanking you, and all those that back me on YouTube membership, thanking you. And if you want to grab yourself a fine and dandy pair of socks or a mug or a t-shirt, I have merch, check that out. Or just hit something on this screen and stay with Captain Steve a little bit longer. Thank you.